Alrighty, guys. In this video, we're going to cover how to look at your marketing numbers, plan ahead for the year in marketing, and have perfect control over your business to know when you need to put your foot on the gas to get more projects coming in, when you need to release to kind of stabilize and handle the projects you already have. But this marketing is going to be based on lead generation sources. So like this is going to be your Thumbtack, Home Advisor, Angie's List, networks, all those guys. This isn't going to have to do much to do with branding or SEO because that's longer term and a little bit harder to track. However, we're going to look at how to keep track of the leads you're getting and how many you're closing, and just give you an idea of the business numbers you want to pay attention to, so you can kind of plan your out, stuff like that. Right? So let's dive right into it without further ado. So on the top column here, you see we have leads, then we have the booking rate. So if you get 10 people to reach out through Home Advisor or Facebook ads or YouTube, wherever you're advertising, and you book 1/3 of them, that means your booking rate is 33%. Right? Pretty simple math. So that means the estimates you're running are 6.6 out of 20 leads. And let's say you close 1/3 of those jobs, and that means you close 2 deals roughly. Okay, so 20 leads, 2 deals, not too bad. And then let's say your average ticket, 15 grand might be a little high. Let's say your average ticket is 10 grand. Gross profit after your materials, your labor, and you can make this as simple or complicated as you want. But let's say your average gross profit is 5 grand. All right, so we're going to take average revenue, and we're going to fill each column with the B12. All right, and we're going to take average revenue. Then we're going to take this column is, let's see, C7 times C6. All right. Then we're going to say the average gross profit is B15. All right, and the total gross profit for this month, since we sold 2 jobs, is going to be C9 times C7. All right, oops. Times C6. There we go. All right, so this is going to stay the same on each row, so I'm just going to copy and paste like this. And if you want this spreadsheet, just go ahead and ask for it in the comments. All right, so all right, and then this other stuff we can pretty much just drag. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to do gross profit, to do that. And you can see, since there is no projects, there's going to be no revenue or gross profit, right? If we put 5 projects in there, you can start to see what those numbers add up to. I'm going to highlight the total revenue and total gross profit just so it's a little easier. All right, so the game of marketing and getting leads and skyrocketing your business is a very, very simple formula. All right, how many leads are you getting? How many leads are you booking? And then how many of those leads are you closing? Okay, and then that's what you have to worry about, right? So let's say you have let's put some overhead in here. Now I know that overhead, there's going to be a lot of different things. So this is going to be like your salary as owner, if you're paying rent for a shop, something like that. Your marketing costs, if you have SEO or social media that you're paying for that's just running consistently, that's kind of the same every month. That's what your overhead is going to be. If you have an office staff, basically overhead is everything. Everything that has to keep going even when jobs and deals aren't happening, right? So let me pause really quick. All right, so let's say your overhead, including what you pay yourself, insurance, all that stuff, let's say it's 15 grand a month, right? So what that means is that just to break even, you need to have at least 3 jobs coming in per month, okay? Now, since you are paying for lead gen and all this other stuff, you want to be above just breaking even, I would assume, right? You want to have a little bit of net profit left over in the business, okay? So that means if we can get 40 leads a month, all right, and our booking rate is 33%, we're going on 13 estimates, closing rate is 33%, we're closing 4 jobs at 10K, that means that we're doing 40K in total revenue after labor and materials, whatever you're paying your guys, whatever, subcontractors, whatever. boom, $20,000 in gross profit. Okay, so that means that you're getting a net of $5,000. So I'm just going to put the formulas in because I know I'm going to want to come and change around these numbers later. So we're going to say C12 minus, or let's say C10 minus C12. All right, so if you're not making any money, you're still paying that $15,000 in overhead, and you're going to be minus $15,000, right? So this is really good because what this shows you is, if you want to add someone in the office, or you want to, get a new truck that's going to be more payments, or you want to do anything that is overhead and you're going to have to keep paying for it no matter what, a new social media program, website, SEO, any of that stuff. This is going to show you, how much you need to be bringing in to pay for the overhead that you have, right? So here, let me drag this out a little bit. Okay, there we go. So if you are following this formula and you're getting 40 leads a month consistently, you're closing 4 jobs consistently, then that's 60,000. That would be total revenue close to $500,000, and then net profit of $60,000, and that's after you pay yourself, right? Because we're factoring you paying yourself into that 15 grand a month. Okay. Now, here's the problem. Okay, so these are the numbers. This is exactly how the math works out. Obviously, some months are going to be higher. Like 50 leads. Some they're going to be lower. 30 leads. And my son's banging on the door. Give me 1 second. All right. So what I was going to say is that the problem is that 90% of contractors do not track this stuff. All right. They know they're getting some leads from Home Advisor, some leads from Facebook, some referrals, but they're not actually tracking how many. They're not tracking how many are booking, how many are closing. And so what makes that really difficult is that you don't know what your metrics are. You don't know how much you need to spend on marketing to get where you need to be. And you don't know which types of lead sources are providing the highest return for the investment you're making, right? So to start tracking your leads, it is literally really simple. You can grab a notebook and a pen, or you can get a spreadsheet, and just every single lead that comes in. This is going to make you thousands and thousands, if not potentially millions of dollars to track your leads, all right? So every lead that comes in, you're just tracking their name, their email, their phone number, their address. I'm not going to put my address on there. Where you got them from, whether you booked them, whether you sent the estimate, whether you sold the deal, and then if you did sell the deal, what the deal size was, okay? So let's say we have, I'm just going to make 10 of these guys, all right? We'll say we have 10 from Home Advisor and 10 from, Thumbtack, and obviously they're not going to be perfectly laid out like this. Like you're going to have Home Advisor, Thumbtack, bum, bum, bum. All right, I just want to show you what this is going to look like in real life, okay? So you have, books, no, deal size is 0, no. And so, because sometimes like you'll get like 5 no's in a row, then you'll get 6 yeses in a row. All right. So I'm gonna say no. And I'm actually going somewhere with this, so stick with me here. I'm gonna show you how to actually add up all the numbers. So Home Advisor, deal sold, no. That first one is a yes, actually. Yes, no. All right, we're going to expand that. Then we're going to expand that just so we can pick and choose. So we're going to say Thumbtack. Let's say we sold this guy. Deal sold. Yes. 5,800. We estimate sent, but we didn't sell it. Estimate sent, but we didn't sell it. Estimate sent, and we did sell this guy for $11,500. Thumbtack estimate sent. No, he didn't buy. Home Advisor. Deal sold. We'll say that we scheduled an estimate but didn't sell that. And then this guy finally, we sold an estimate, or we did an estimate. We close the deal, and we got 8,900. All right. So the cool thing about this is now you can track, like you can say, all right, well, for how many home advisor leads did I get, right? So you can track that you got 11 home advisor leads, and you got, oops, 8 thumbtack leads. All right. So with the thumbtack leads, you got 8 leads, and you got 1, 2 sales. With home advisor leads, you also got 2 sales. But you can already see here with the home advisor leads, these sales were higher ticket. Okay. Now this is a very small sample size. This is maybe like a half a month worth of data or a month's worth of data, depending on how much you're spending on leads. But the way the data is trending right now is showing you that home advisor, you're more likely to book and you're more likely to sell the job, right? Because if you go here and count this, you can say, all right, well, I got let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, I got 11 home advisor leads. We already counted. Out of those home advisor leads, let's see, how many did we book? We booked out of the home advisor leads, we booked 6. All right, so if you say, all right, well, out of the home advisor leads, we got 11 and we booked 6. So that means we're booking 54% of the home advisor leads. All right, and the ones we, actually, this one probably would have had an estimate too. So out of the ones that we booked, we sold 2. Okay, so that means we booked 6, we sold 2. 2 divided by 6 is 33%. So that means with our home advisor leads, we're booking 54%. And let's take notes on this because I'll show you what this means. All right. So home advisor, we're booking 54% and we're closing 33%. Okay. Now let's look at the thumbtack leads. All right. So thumbtack, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 8 leads. We booked 1, 2, 3. Okay. We booked 3. And we closed 2. Okay. So with the thumbtack leads, the booking rate is 3 that we booked divided by 8, right? So 3 divided by 8 is 37% booking, and we closed 2 out of 3. So 2 divided by 3, we closed 66% closing. All right. So what's cool about thumbtack though is that more of the jobs we actually show up to, we are ending up closing. So now that you see the numbers, you actually have some control because the way this is trending currently. Now, again, this is a very small sample size of data. Don't make decisions like this off of 20 leads. But when you have 200 leads, and this is like, these are the booking and closing rates you're getting, that's much more accurate data. So now you know what kind of, like, you have control. You know what you can actually do with that data. Okay. So with Home Advisor, you can see that obviously the booking rate is a little higher, the closing rate is a little lower. But with Thumbtack, even though you might have had less leads overall, on average, all the different home services compiled, it takes like 4 hours on average to do an estimate, follow up with an estimate. If you're really good at follow up, maybe that's 5 hours, right? So with Thumbtack, even though you're booking less leads, the ones that you're actually going out on, you're closing, right? So you're closing 2/3 versus 1/3 with Home Advisor. And so you might look at this and look at this data and say, you know what? I would rather close more of the leads that I'm going out on so that I can, spend less time going out on estimates and more time actually making money. Now, this all assumes that your pricing is on point, and for most home services, you're getting at least 50% gross margin. Obviously, for some higher end remodel projects and things like that, it's going to be a little bit different. But for most home services, at least 50%. I know in HVAC, 50-60% is a healthy gross margin usually. And as long as you're priced right, then you can start to look at some of this data and see what to do, right? So now you're actually getting some control. And let's say, and maybe starting out, rather than looking at too detailed at the numbers, like, what percentage am I closing? You can even just look at what did I spend on Home Advisor and what did I get in return. what did I spend on Thumbtack and what did I get in return, right? So with Home Advisor deals, we got 21 grand in revenue. With Thumbtack, we got 14 grand in revenue, right? So if we spent $500 on Thumbtack to get 14 grand in revenue, and we spent 2,000 on Home Advisor to get 21 grand in revenue, that means that obviously on Thumbtack we are making more money, right? We're spending less money to make more money, right? So if we divide 14.7 and divide that by 500, that's 29 times 29 times return on what we're spending. If we say we're spending 2,000 on Home Advisor, we can already just see 2,000, 21,000. It's about 10 times, right? So we can see that the investment is much higher return in Thumbtack. Okay, so once you track these few basic things: name, email, phone number, address, the source. Did you book the job? Did you send the estimate? Did you sell the job? And then what was the deal size? Really, really simple stuff. You have access to now all of this data. Okay. And so once you've tried out a few different sources, once you've tried out Home Advisor, once you've tried out Facebook Leads, once you've tried out Angie's List, Thumbtack, Networks, Modernize, all those different ones out there, you'll have a really good understanding of what works best for your business and what works best for your market. Now, keep in mind, to get the best results, like, you are going to want to pound the leads, respond really quickly, make sure you're doing the proper follow-up, because guess what? I'm going to show you exactly why that's important. Do you think you're more likely to get a job if you call a lead back 8 times versus calling them back 2 times? Do you think you're more likely to book that customer? And if you say yes, how much more likely? Would you say 10% more likely or 20% more? Let's say you're 15% more likely if you're texting twice, calling back 8 times, and emailing twice. Okay. Let's say that increases your odds of booking that lead by 15%. Okay, so our booking rate was 33%, and now plus 15% is going to be 48%. All right, we just went from 4 deals a month to 6 deals a month with the same amount of leads. Okay, so we're spending the same amount of money on advertising, and we just closed 2 extra jobs, and now our total gross profit is 30 grand as opposed to 20 grand. Okay, so, and you might, that extra follow-up, you might have to pay someone $3 grand a month to sit in the office and make all these calls and do all this stuff, but you just did $10,000 more in gross profit, right? So you can now afford that in the overhead. Excuse me. And this becomes even more and more important as you're scaling your marketing to track these numbers. But people ask all the time, hey, what's the best platform to use? Is it Home Advisor? Is it Facebook ads? Is it Google ads? What is the best? What is the best? What is the best? The answer is yes and no, right? Because if your Home Advisor might work a little bit better in one market versus the other, and it's really going to work better or worse depending on your own internal follow-up process. If you're following up fast, sending the estimates fast, doing everything fast, quick, you're on top of it, you're good communication, you're going to close more of those leads. But if you're not doing that stuff and you're not selling leads from Home Advisor, you might go and say, oh, well, Home Advisor sucks, right? So it's really important to understand that, and really important to understand that you are ultimately responsible for your own success, and no marketing company is just going to hand you customers on a silver platter. It's just not how the world works, right? So hopefully this helps. Hopefully this gives you some ideas. And again, the most important thing is every single lead you get. It's okay to lose money on marketing. Listen, some of the marketing you do isn't going to produce the result you're looking for, and that's okay as long as you track that and you learn from it and you learn what doesn't work. If you don't track it, then you'll be stuck in a rat race just trying this, trying that out, trying this out, trying that out, and never making any progress, because you'll just go from one marketing company from the other hoping they have the secret magic formula that, sorry to break it to you, does not exist. The secret magic formula is tracking the numbers and finding little ways, little markers to increase the closing rate by 17%, or increase the booking rate by 10%, whatever it is, and getting better and better and better so that you're closing more deals for less money on your advertising spend. And then once you get good at these numbers, you'll know exactly what you need to spend in advertising to hit your goals. And you might be wondering, okay, well, where are referrals and all this, right? And we could put referrals in here. Some types of home services Yeah, referrals are really going to count, really going to be important. Like let's take HVAC for example. It's very streamlined. People are either going to need repair or they're going to need a replacement on their HVAC system. Okay. Now, the reason I didn't put it in here is because we specialize in helping remodelers. And remodelers, a lot of the referrals that come in, let's say you're trying to focus on kitchens and baths, right? A lot of the referrals that come in might be for flooring projects, uh, random, can you paint the outside of my house? Can you build this addition for me? Do you guys do custom homes? Like you'll get all these different types of referrals. And in my experience, when that happens, it creates a business that's very fragmented, and the owner has to kind of babysit and watch everything because you're focused on so many different things. It's hard to build a streamlined process where you can just, pump out jobs and pump out profits and train employees quickly. And so I like to see what it's going to cost just to buy the leads to get that amount of revenue and make sure I can do that first. And then you will still get referrals for your specialty. That's fine. But I like to make sure we can do it with marketing first. And then after that, if you get extra referrals, that's great. But you want to plan usually based on marketing, in my opinion. As you get, more advanced with your forecasting and stuff, you can try to factor some of that stuff in. All right, so hope this helps. Thanks so much for watching. If you agree with anything, disagree with anything, comment below. I want to hear your thoughts. I still have a lot to learn. And again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.